never come forward and said we don't need capital.
No cap. The beat capped up.
9 o'clock on the dot, no you should tap me. Here for an hour, I promise this talk is heavy. I'm cooking, just get it started, don't go asking if it's ready. Nah, I'll be damned like we bout to break a levee. I sweat, all of this content push my conscience to a beautiful dark, twisted fantasy. I'm a monster, my posture looking like we was winning Oscars. Far from an act, but still acting like we got sponsors. Define us by the work we do, you know the work of few. Willing to get down in the trenches for the perfect view. So if you at me, then be sure to mention purpose too. And alignment, we own it, far from consignment. I seen the light, it was blind to contribute this all the timing. Let it breathe till you find it. Get fresh, then set the table for guests. I told you that we was cooking, this compliments to the chef. Let's go.
Good morning, creatives, and welcome to another episode of Cooking a Late Night. You guys know it's another Thursday night, and we here, right? Because you know there's so many things that's been happening throughout the week. So much has been going on. I know you guys have probably been busy with your clubhouse and every other thing that's happening right now, but just understand that if you're here tonight, it's because I got some gems for you. And when I say gems, I'm talking about the mompreneur herself, the GOAT. We're going to double check and get everything started. So with that said, we're going to kick this whole thing off right, and we actually want to jump in with our producer, my guy, Drew Keys. What's going on with you, bro? I heard that one.
What's up, y'all? It's Drew Keys. Hit me up if you need music production, piano lessons, or live music. You can follow me on social media at Drew Keys Music, and check out my website, drewkeysmusic.com.
All right, well, with that said, bro, looking forward to seeing what you got cooking up. But for y'all see this special person next to me right here, right? Please introduce yourself, ma'am.
Oh my goodness. What's up, guys? I'm Mariah Oates. I'm the CEO and co-founder of the PR Alliance. I'm a media personality and a mompreneur.
Y'all see how she kept eye contact, right? Like, y'all see the professionalism. Like, she really should be in this chair, honestly. But Miss Mariah, I'm so excited to have you here. I'm a fan of a lot of work that you've been doing, just on the Publicist side, and just, you know, as a mom, like this hustle. But let's start a little bit at the beginning. Like, how did you get into this whole communication field?
Honestly, it started in high school, and I really want to stress the importance of teaching people early. So I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I had a TV production teacher, Mr. Arcuz at Bowie High School. Okay, is he there?
Y'all saw, I told y'all the Millie was coming. You gonna get a couple Millies tonight.
Look, I'm shouting him out. But he really encouraged me to do things behind the scenes, like work the camera, do all the production. And then he had the morning announcements, which was televised. And then he encouraged me to try out. And then I got on, and then it's been in front of the camera ever since. And then I wanted to do behind the scenes. So I did a little bit of that in college and majored in journalism and new media at Towson University.
Okay.
And then I just kind of wanted to be well-rounded and started learning all aspects of the communications field. So.
And hold on, like, I just want to check. Are we good on the photo? Like, if I pull, so let's just let's talk. Let's talk.
I swore.
Community. Look, I'm good at what I do.
I was cute.
Hey, nah, I mean, you was holding the block down, like, you know what I mean? But you really meant, like, behind the scenes. So, like, talk about, like, what attracted you to that aspect? Because most people prefer to be in front of the camera.
Let me tell you something. Math and me, nah. Science, me, nah. Anything other than talking, like, okay? So, when I found out about TV production, I was like, oh, okay, that seems cool. Took a class, and I was like, yep, this for me, right here. And then being in front of the camera, I mean, I have the natural gift to gab. I mean, if you can't already tell.
I mean, look, like, I mean, the resume long. I mean, it's a lot of work to it, but, you know, so you actually knew the trajectory you were going on, which is amazing because most don't figure it out that early. But, like, talk about, like, you graduate from Towson, you know, you hype. In fact, hold up, we're going to shout out the graduation. You know, we here, right? Happy to be here. We got the proof. But, you know, once you graduate, talk about what opportunity looked like. Like, what was the job market coming out of college?
Let me give you the real.
That's what we're here for.
It did not happen for me after college. I got 3 months of unemployment after college, okay? I couldn't understand for the life of me why I was not getting hired. And when I tell you I was putting in applications every day, and to be clear, I never went back home after college. So, you know, you get your apartment when you're a senior in college, if you're lucky. And then I had a couple months left on my lease. And while I'm there, I'm like, all right, I got to pay these bills because the refund check ain't going to last.
Oh, you got a refund check? Oh,
yeah, I was
wealthy. It ain't come for me.
Well, you know, shout out to my parents. I don't know what that loan was looking like back then. But, and I mean, it took a time. And I hit depression, to be honest, and rock bottom. And then I finally got my first job at Sinclair Broadcasting Group. Actually, Keisha and I, my business partner, which I know we'll get into later.
Spoiler alert.
We started working there together. So, but it took about 3 months, honestly.
I mean, that's amazing. That you even 3 months, like in the grand scheme of things, like thinking about like opportunity for 3 months, it doesn't seem like a lot. But like you said, you dealt with a lot in that time because I'm sure you came out was like, you know, I'm adequate in my field. I have the expertise to do it. I'm youthful. I want to do this. You know, talk about what it was like to just rebuild yourself and your confidence in that state, because I think that's a common place for anyone in any field, is that they feel that they're qualified, but the opportunities aren't coming their way. So how did you build yourself up?
Honestly, I had a support system. My friends really, really held it down, because I want to be clear, like not every parent, at least back then, I'm not back then like I'm old.
Right, back in my day, let me guess, you walked uphill both ways to school, huh?
Don't do that. But you know, back in 2014, my parents was like, communications. I mean, what you gonna do with that?
Right.
Where's the money, right? So I really leaned on my friends and my peers who were also in similar situations. And that really helped. And then remembering, like, I've had 2 jobs since I was like 15. I got my first job at 14 at Wendy's, okay? Yeah. Thank God you don't got no photos of that.
I'm about to say, hey, research department, where y'all at? Where's that proof? We need that.
But like, I've always had 2 jobs, and even senior year, I think I had 3 classes. I was interning at ABC, and then I was interning with Towson Sports Network. And then I was working as a news anchor for Towson's cable network back then.
And we got you here for Towson holding the block down. Yo, we prepare. Like, we are here for this, you know. But yeah, so I mean, you were hustling.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And it was hard to be like, do y'all see the work I've been putting in for y'all not to give me a job?
Right.
I was stressed, but honestly, like I said, my peers, and just kind of remembering like all the things that I've done to validate myself. Like, you obviously can do this.
Sure.
They just don't see it yet.
Okay.
Keyword is yet.
Yeah, but and you know what? Honestly, though, like just in general, that yet is the hardest thing to kind of come to grips with when you're in a moment or any type of career path, especially when it's a leap of faith against what like your superiors or your parents are like, nah, like you got like 4 months to figure it out, or I'm gonna need you to go back and get that degree and become a doctor like I told you the first time.
Fact.
And so, you know, you find yourself in a space where you're like, yet it's hard to hold on to. And fortunately for you, you were able to like lean on your community a little bit. Let's like, you know, I mean, so where did this passion though for like the entertainment and, you know, entrepreneurial space build from? Because communications is one thing, but this whole universe, you know, LLC Twitter is different. Like, how'd you prepare yourself, and what really attracted you to this?
Entertainment for one, I just knew that was the space I needed to be in, because I mean, like I said, well, I didn't say, but politics, another thing, ain't my thing, okay?
That's why we doing this the same time as the debate, because we probably at least got more to never mind.
Well, let me just tell y'all I know who I'm voting for. All right. But entertainment was just more my speed. Like, I was always in the know, you know what I mean? And I was just like, that just fits for me. But also, I mean, my first love is sports.
Oh yeah?
I was a sports girl.
Yeah?
Okay, I was on the field.
Oh, you was in the field.
I was running.
Huh?
Touchdown. Oh my God! Da da da. Running after the game, getting the coach. Coach, what'd you think about that? Da da da. I mean, now.
Hey, coach, that player kind of sucked out there. What you think? Like,
look,
all that.
I was that girl, so I'm like, entertainment, sports. Yep, that's me. But when it comes to entrepreneurship, I really do give credit to Keisha. Because like I said, we were working at Sinclair Broadcasting Group, and then we were having conversations about our talents, and we realized how they complement each other. And she was like, girl, we can do this. We can start our own business. provide value to people, you know, in this way and do it on our own terms. And I was like, okay, that sounds cool. And then that's kind of how our business formed because we've seen the need. But LLC Twitter, you guys stress me.
It's a problem. And by the way, that is exactly how Keisha would sound. Like that sentence was a full Keisha sentence. For those of you at home that do not know who Keisha is, off rip. But no, so let's talk about it. 2017, right? You guys, you know, did y'all fusion and became the PR Alliance.
Yeah.
Talk about just this idea to one, not only start something on your own, but to start with a partner, because that's tough. That's like it's literally a marriage with your business. So how does that conversation come about, and talk about just those initial starting blocks?
Honestly, Keisha and I had to establish our communication styles because it's so important to understand how the other person receives information. Sure. Especially when we have to know, like, not every moment is going to be great. We're not always going to agree. There also has to be respect. And that's one thing Keisha and I have for one another is respect for our time and the effort that we put in. So we have that as a foundation. And I think especially when you're starting business with a friend, you have to have a strong foundation because when the arguments come, you gotta have something to stand on, okay?
Look, shout outs to everybody who tried to start a business with me in the past and we ain't make it. It ain't even me. So nah, but it's tough. It's a tough thing. It absolutely is. And I mean, all right, so for anyone else, like, I think this is a great point. How do you set boundaries? Like, what does that parameter look like?
Honestly, I wish I had like a concrete thing for that because boundaries are different for everybody.
Sure.
And especially as transitions in life happens, right? Like me as a mom now, I have new boundaries that I didn't have when we first started.
Sure.
So I think having communication open and honest and early and often is how you establish boundaries.
I think communication just as an underlining theme for any partnership, you know, I mean, any type of ship, friendship, relationships, all types of ships. But yeah, like, so when you began, even talk about going after that first client. Like, all right, we want to do this, but we need proof of concept. We need to show people that we're capable of doing this. So what did that look like out the gate for you?
I think this is like my favorite story to tell, honestly. So Keisha and I, we were in that moment of like, all right. So actually, we started our business in October 2016, but did not launch to the public until April 2017, so that we can get our case study. It just so happened that Maya Milan, beautiful singer, please look her up. She's right now Keith Sweat's background vocalist on tour. She's also been on BET. So she was looking for a publicist, and I was like, girl, come on over my way. And she really allowed us to use her as a guinea pig. Because one, she needed PR, and we needed someone to showcase our skills on. She allowed us to grow with her, and we actually did everything for her. I mean, media relations, social media consulting, audience engagement, media training, like event planning, project management. I mean, the list goes on. And we got to a place where it was like, if you seen Maya, you saw us, and it allowed us to get our names out there, not only just in the city but in our industry. Good. And so then when we launched in 2017, we already had shown people who we were.
That's good.
So I think for anyone looking to start a business in general, you should definitely go that route. And we started off free. And I'm not ashamed to say that because it's an important part, right? Not everyone is going to pay you up front, but also when you're deciding your rates and things, you also have to have proof of concept, like that you are worth that money. So.
And I love that, and I think, you know, it's almost like a space where I found myself in, where either I'm doing something for the love or you're paying my rate. But you have to but I have to show you why you're paying my rate if you're going to do it. And especially when you're beginning, you want to make sure that you're developing just this idea and this vision, and also make sure you're going to last in this industry. If you're coming out the gate and you're like, yo, I want to represent you 5,000, and the next month you're not, I don't even like PR like that for real. You know, it's not going to be the best plan of action. So you know, for you, in this space, what does alignment look like for you and clients? Like finding new people, attracting new clients. What does that look like for you currently, fast forward?
Oh my gosh.
That's a lot.
A little loaded. Alignment. I'm just trying to think, because even when I think about the clients that we're trying to attract, right? We really think about our core values and our mission, and we think about the stories that are being untold. And we really have to make sure you have 5 key things, right? You need to know who your target audience is. You need to have defined goals. You need to have unique identifiers. You need to have a budget.
We need that from the top. Budget. The whole thing. The whole thing.
And honestly, I say budget because PR is a luxury service. So just keep that in mind.
So let's talk about what makes it a luxury service, because I love this direction.
Well, for one, not everyone needs it, right? Like you walk into the Lamborghini shop, like you buying it because you want it, right?
Yeah.
It enhances your image.
Yeah.
But you don't walk in there with a Honda budget. Luxury service. So it's like simpler terms.
So what she said is, you simpleton. No, I'm joking. But no, I mean, I think you're right. I think that, people don't realize that, but, and it's often that, I mean, I literally, as we're having this conversation here, Keisha in the back of my head, PR is not marketing. You need marketing first. And it's important because people don't realize that there are levels to this.
Yeah.
If you really don't have anything to talk about, anything that the public really needs to be aware of, this isn't the services for you.
Yeah, and honestly, PR is an investment.
Sure.
And that's another thing that really makes it a luxury service. Because you are investing in yourself, and PR is the prime example of that. Because you're giving publicity. We're telling the public about you. We're getting you the sales you're looking for through earned media, through your story. We're getting people to connect with you. And that's an investment. People have to want to invest in your story. And that's like what PR is.
So let's talk about your expertise, because your background in media, how does that really help you when you're working with clients, and how do you apply your history into what you do now?
I think honestly it helps create the narrative because I've been in front of the camera, so I know what the public wants. I know what really grabs someone. So my expertise comes in of pulling that out of your story. Like what really connects you to the audience.
Yeah.
And then being able to identify what part of your story connects with this specific outlet. So, it's that kind of thing that sets me apart, I guess.
Talk your stuff, flex on them, Millie. Hold up, you can tell all quarantine she been. Hold up, I'm gonna get back out there on them. I'm gonna hit them. I'm gonna hit it on them. But no, I mean, what you've done, you've continually, you and Keisha, of course. I don't. Speaking of you, I of course think of you guys as a unit, as a package. But I also understand that you guys are individuals.
Yeah.
And so talk about just on your point of view, how are you able to scale ideas, but understand that there's someone else that you need to align with? What is that like for you in that process?
Honestly, it's super easy because Keisha and I are so different, but so similar when it comes to our ideas. It's almost scary.
Yeah.
It's like, she'll say something, and I was like, oh my God, I was just thinking that. And then she's like, but why didn't you say it? And I was like, because I don't know. I just was thinking it.
And once again, this is an exact, never mind. It sounds like Keisha.
Literally, if you do not follow her, you should, because that is exactly how she is, and I love it.
Nah.
But no, really, she's just like, why didn't you say it? And that's just, she just speaks what's in my mind, so.
And she's also her passion, her ministry is communication.
Oh, yeah.
So it's her go-to thing.
Yeah.
But for yourself, what moment in this journey or experience to date did you feel like this is the moment that solidifies this is the path for me? Because I think that there's always that pivotal moment where you're like, okay, we here.
Yeah.
I'm arrived a little bit. What was that for you?
Securing my first media placement.
Okay.
As soon as I got my first client, Maya Milan, on what I think is Great Day Washington. Shout out to them. Love
Talk
them
your
there.
stuff.
But when we secured her on there, and then we got there, and she did her first interview, and she was so happy, and seeing the glow of any client when they get their first television segment gets it for me every time.
See that, and that's why y'all need her, because see, for me, right, it would have been a whole nother flex. My flex would have looked something like this, my first moment of excitement was the fact when I sat down with Yvonne Orji, it would have been a me moment. Talk about this experience and what this opportunity, how this opportunity came about.
Honestly, it was so sudden. So shout out to Andrew, the creator of the Build Your Own Brand Retreat. I almost said BYB Live.
I mean, both. It's out there.
Yeah.
We live.
But she was coming in as a keynote, and I think he was originally going to do the interview, but he just got so wrapped up and so busy because he was also on stage with her at one point, and then he was just like, I need someone to do it. Looks at me, he's like, Mariah, I need you to do it. And I was like, okay, sure. How long? 2 hours or so. And I was like, okay, cool. Because mind you, Keisha and I are running behind the scenes, right? We're doing all the media, speakers, and things like that. And I was just like, all right, cool, no problem. I can do this, yeah. So I'm like, all right, cool. Oh, crap. I remember Candace Nicole, from Candace Nicole PR.
I'm working on a documentary because she got like a whole PR tree that we're going to do a case study on.
I owe a lot to her. But she was a speaker, and I pulled her to the side, and I was like, look, I need to do some research, and I need help. Because I'm like, I also need to go upstairs, and I need to get dressed and brush my hair, because I'm looking like crazy right now. So I have the support system. But honestly, I did my research. She pulled up major key points. I said, bet. I sat there, read through it, put my notes, got my questions, and was ready. And Keisha was escorting her and everything. I mean, it happened so fast.
I mean, and that's not even like staying ready or it's like be ready so you don't gotta get ready. Like, cause luckily you had the skill set. Cause it was like, oh, I need to change, I need to do this and study. Bet we out there. Yeah. Look, I would have been nervous on that moment. Like, talk about like being prepared for that moment just yourself.
Honestly, like I treated it as if I treat any interview. I literally just do my research and write down what I think people want to know, and also myself. And to be honest with you, I watched Insecure, but like, you know, I don't think I was really on it. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think at that time it was what it is.
Right? Maybe.
Like, I don't know. I mean, I watched it too, but there was a whole nother plot line I was fighting for, you know, because I was Team Lawrence, and I ain't like the whole way the Best Buy thing was happening. I like, dang, he making an honest living. Like, this is how we treat the guy. But you know, it's cool. I ain't gonna hold that against you. You know, not today, devil. But you know, I mean, I think in just that moment though, for you, like, we're talking about I don't want to say an unplanned conference because it was a planned idea and moment, but just your role in it was unplanned.
Yeah.
And so you have just this vast like arsenal of just skill set. Like, you just tap into it whenever you like. Like, just how do you know what moments to be which part of you?
Honestly, I'm just me, 100% all the time, because you just never know. And it's not even something I'm thinking about, because I'm a publicist, but I also am a media personality. Like, I'm always going to be ready. The camera, I told you, it's like my adrenaline rushes. So if I get the opportunity.
No, she was like, and good morning, creative. Dang, that's my line.
Oh my God. If you would have let me do it, I might have done it.
Hey, we going to see you on the closeout. We going to stick around, folks, because it's here.
We're pressure. Here.
Right.
But I don't know. And then honestly, like when I'm prepping, now that I think about it, I always take time to be still. Because I think that's so important. I get so nervous. I get the butterflies literally up into the second. And I think it's important to take at least 5 minutes of like quiet time to like sit with my thoughts and really think about what I'm doing. And something else to point out, Keisha and I were even able to put our client in position because she recorded it.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that she had her set up because she was there as media. And we were like, hey, we need to loop you in. We need the sound. We need the audio. Can you come in and do it? And she was thrilled. But it just goes back to making sure that we always are able to put our clients in place too.
And, you know, I think that's just an excellent space to be in itself. And shout outs to Candace Nicole on the IG Live. Shout outs to everyone tuning in on YouTube right now, too. You guys are amazing. I'm excited to have you guys here. And I'm excited about even going further in this part because, yeah, we talk, you know, all right, you got a Von Orgy interview off. Cool. That's something that I don't got under my belt. A lot of people don't got that under their belts. But then, right, she doubled back. She doubled back. You feel me? Hold up. She doubled back.
Oh,
it had Karen Civil like on a hug. Like, I can't get a hug. Talk about just, amazing. You know, I mean, you have, you know, I don't even want to say quiet as kept because I'm loud about it and it's known. But, you know, I mean, you've consistently, as a personality, media personality, got some really strong interviews. Like, talk about balancing personality and Publicist.
Yeah.
Because, like, I'm sure your client's like, well, I would like to interview, you know, Karen Civil. Like, you know, talk about just yourself and how you're able to excel in both aspects.
Honestly, I try to make sure I keep them separate. Especially when I'm dealing with a media relations client. Like, I'm in publicist mode, and the only thing I'm focusing on is media training. I'm not even trying to like get my shot. And if I'm able to get them like a celebrity interview or a feature or some type of opportunity with a celebrity, I'm in the background, and I'm okay with that. Because even like this moment with Karen Civil is honestly, it was a full circle moment for me that only a select few know, but.
No, it's a safe space. It's a safe space.
Well, I'm gonna say it.
All right, let's look. Hey,
here.
We here. Presents.
But a couple years ago, I took a trip to LA because I heard Karen Civil was doing an event with ColorCom, a women's communications group, and I was like, I'm flying to LA. She's gonna be there at the same time. Let's do it. Let's get tickets. Boom. I go and meet her. I was like, we're gonna work together. She's like, okay, you know how celebrities. Okay, girl, I can't wait. Yeah, and then go about their business and forget about you. So that happened.
couple girl dates out there too.
And it's okay. I understand. And then I think even like later that year, I tried to intern with her, and I made it, but I had to move to LA and unpaid, and at the time that just wasn't feasible for me. You know, maybe like that sometimes. So missed opportunity. But I was like, it's gonna come back around. I'm gonna work with her. I'm going to talk to her. And then I get this opportunity at the BYOB retreat. Wow. And Andrew was actually gonna do the interview. And at the last second, you know, it was a big celebration at the end, and he just comes up to me and whispers, and he's like, I need you to take the interview. And I was like, I'm on it. And I ran to my seat. And it just kind of happened like that, but it was like full circle because I'm like, I told her.
Wow. Did you remind her?
I didn't even mention it. That was for myself.
I'd have been like, girl, guess what? So no, that's not. I mean, that's not even.
I don't even know how many people do that. You know, like I don't. You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, it's a lot to. It's definitely a lot in the moment, and it's also a lot. It could be an awkward moment too, because you can be like, yo, I remember you. Like I said, that wasn't even me at ColorCon. That was my stunt double. I sent that one.
My God.
You know, but you know, I think for you, I think again, we're talking about solidifying your journey. Like I love that you love your clients so much that their joy is your joy.
Oh, yeah.
But as someone who like sees how you hustle and how you grind, your success is your success, and want to celebrate that the same too. Y'all, by the way, I have to let this be known. You guys are like the top of the Publicist gang in the DMV. Like, I don't think you realize that the PR Alliance is a gang. So much so that y'all decided, like, you know what? Yeah, we the PR Alliance, but we gonna host like a National Publicist Day. Like, we gonna rep the block. Look at the flyness though. Like, you know,
early.
like, and we're actually getting ready for another National Publicist Day. So talk about like what made you guys like venture into this space.
So Keisha actually did some research and found out about the holiday itself. By Jordana Stevens, and she's amazing. She created it. She's in New York. And then we were like, but why doesn't anyone know about this? Like, what the heck? I'm like, a day to celebrate us?
Right.
Please. So we were like, well, let's just throw a little something. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, the first year, we, sent out the newsletter and everything, posted, and we had 6 publicists at our event. And we were like, all right, cool. We were a little like, dang, 6 people. But we made it work. And I'm so appreciative of those 6 people. And then we had another one. And I think we maybe have had like 25 people or so. And we were like, all right, we building.
We out here.
Yeah. And then last year, it was like 100 and something. And we were
I pulled up. I was there. I was excited.
I remember.
I was happy to be here.
Shout out to you.
Hey, I'm just happy to be in the room. I get invites every once in a while.
But I was so happy. That was such a good turnout for us. I think it rained. Didn't it rain?
It did. It rained, but you wouldn't tell that by the people who showed up. Like, that's when it's like real love. Like, I'm in here in the rain, and you got a little crowd in there. Y'all had the step room.
I think it was like a Wednesday or Tuesday.
It was a day.
It was a weird day.
It was a day. Yeah, but
we held it down. Held it down.
You executed. You showed up,
yeah.
and I mean, it was amazing from the drink specials you guys had to the interactive bingo. Like, it's been a thing. So talk about like as we're building up to this next one. And of course, we are all shout outs to Big Roni out there in a space where we cannot have 100 people come together. How do you guys pivot? Like, what does that look like? And let's start here with the pivot and talk about some other ones. But how did you pivot with this particular event?
Oh, well, I mean, it just so happened the National Publicist Day fell a little later in the Rona season. So we were able to see people doing virtual events. And we was like, yeah, we definitely going to do that. And we've attended a couple events that were fire, okay? So we're like, bet, we're going to do that too. So we're so excited to team up with My Publicist is Black.
Oh, that's big.
We're doing a virtual conference. It's going to be so epic, okay? We have vendors, We're going to do a roundtable discussion, which is lit because when you register, you'll have the opportunity to submit questions. And the My Publicist is Black team is going to do a roundtable discussion about what we want to talk about. Wow. So you'll have the opportunity to do that. And then we're going to go into speed networking. So you'll be matched up with people you don't really know. So you'll get 3 to 5 minutes to network. And then we'll have some giveaways per usual.
Cause that's y'all.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. We can't offer y'all no drinks, but we hope that you bring them.
Hey, I'll be sipping something somewhere.
Okay.
But for those who may be checking this out, like, it's not just for Publicists though, is it?
So usually it's not, but this year it's Publicists only. It's Publicists only. And we're doing it because we want it to be a safe space for us, right? This holiday is for us. But normally, the holiday really is about connecting publicists, the media, and communications professionals, because at the end of the day, we use each other. We all are a family. We use each other as a source. So we want to make sure that holiday is representative of that. But this year, we're going to be selfish. And we're going to hold it down for the publicists.
I can respect that. Hey, how long does someone got to be a registered publicist attendant? Because, like, if I start my business tomorrow, and I'm a publicist tomorrow, can I, never mind, let's not worry about it. We're not gonna worry about that. But, you know, and with you, the something else that just thinking about, you guys, you get the accolades as well too. Like, you was in the movement top 40. Like, y'all was just this recently put under the DMV 35 under 35. Like, talk about the ability to not only just hit these goals, but to go past them, to not get comfortable in those moments, to not get complacent. Like, how do you push past complacency?
Well, first, I want to thank them for putting me on the list, and Keisha, honestly, because celebrating yourself as a publicist is kind of hard, right? Because everything we do is behind the scenes. So it's kind of like a thankless job. So to be recognized for something you do behind the scenes is huge. So thank you to them. But honestly, it's so easy not to get complacent. I mean, think about the type of clients you want, right? Think about the reach you want to get. So, I mean, I'm just thinking about all the things that I want to do, things I want to accomplish is so easy, but staying humble and staying grateful is key.
So, okay, so now you got this twinkle in your eye when you looked off thinking about the things you want to do. What for you is Mama, I Made It moment look like? Like, what does that feel like for you?
Okay. Oh, I don't even, Mama, I Made It. Honestly, like, this may sound a little cliche, but I've always had this dream of getting an award and being able to accept it on a stage for my work and being able to actually say, Mama, I made it. Like, you just have that vision, right? Yeah. And being able to thank the people who helped me get here. So yeah.
I see that coming down the line.
Put me on the stage.
Hey, no, we got that. We got that. And we talking about accomplishments. We talking about accolades. But there's like the biggest accomplishment that we ain't even touched yet. That I feel like you don't know the one. You don't know what.
I don't know.
Nah, I got the photo. Hold on, wait. I'm gonna pull a photo of it first, and we gonna show it to you. We gonna talk about this accomplishment.
Oh man. Oh, am I about to get teary-eyed? Oh my god.
Hey, zoom in.
Not
zoom in.
On camera. No,
zoom in. Never mind. So all this that we just talked about, and you a whole mom. Like, talk about just what shout outs to Skylar, who should be asleep because you've been doing your sleep training. Okay. I mean, I follow her on Twitter, and she's really like detailed about.
Document.
Yeah, it's the proof is in the pudding. But talk about just being a mom in this space. Like, how is it for you? Amazing.
I mean, let me tell you, motherhood is the absolute most stressful job I've ever had in my life. But the reward is the greatest. It's the reward of being a mother is something I cannot even put into words. Like, the feeling to know that someone loves you unconditional and loves you as much or more than you love them is like nuts. Like, I didn't even know this type of love exists. And people say it, it's like cliche, but no, it's real.
So, all right, so like you got this new reward happening in your life.
Yeah.
What has motherhood done to prepare you better as an entrepreneur?
Oh my gosh. Literally having structure. Oh my God. Like, if I just think about the lessons that motherhood has taught me in the pandemic.
Let's talk about them. Like, wait, don't give them all. It's going to be a course $19.99 after this film.
For sure.
But, give us the first 3 key steps.
Honestly, okay, here's 3 things that I want moms out there to know, right? You cannot pour from an empty cup, okay?
Well.
You cannot do it. And honestly, like, I had to break down, burn out, cry, hit what I felt was rock bottom in order to even understand that. Because as a mom, you feel like you can do it all. In business, you feel like you can do it all. You can take on everything. You're going to take on these clients because that money coming in. You can do everything at one time. You can't. You literally burn out. So you cannot pour from an empty cup. And I also realized that I cannot pour so much into others that I have nothing left for myself. And as moms, we feel like superwoman, right? We feel like we have to be. And one thing that this has taught me is you do not have to prove you are superwoman every day. You don't gotta prove it.
I mean, Clark Kent took his cape off, had a whole job, had a whole regular job. You know what I mean?
Like,
even in love life, it ain't work out, but he tried. Yeah, but but I think that's important. I think it's understanding, like, that you can show up for people, but on your time, like,
sure.
Showing up on everyone's time, I've learned, is the worst, because then you resent them for it. You start to find yourself in those spaces where you're like, yo, all I do is come through for you, and all you do is ask questions, ask more of me.
Oh yeah.
And so, also I think, she gave you a good excuse to cancel plans too. Like, the baby, I can't make it.
Let me tell y'all something. If you know anything about me, I was always canceling plans.
If I'm gonna do anything, I'm a flake.
It was always a no.
I'm a flake.
People already know don't ask me to go out after a certain time. I was that friend.
Hey, no, it worked well. It's a good transition. So, like, even with all this and balancing motherhood and where you are now, I'm still trying to figure out myself, like, schedule and order. And you said, like, you've learned structure.
Yeah.
So in terms of structure for yourself, like, what does a normal day look like? What's it feel like?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm still learning. And all the advice and things that I'm saying, I'm literally living it. And I'm able to talk about it because I'm currently experiencing it. So honestly, structure right now, I'm still trying to figure out, if I'm being honest, but it's actually structuring out my day. Like, being a full-time mom, being a full-time businesswoman, and also having a full-time 9-to-5, and also being in a full-time relationship is a lot.
Full. You over full.
Yeah, my cup is runneth over. To be honest.
Hey,
but it's okay? I'm blessed.
We present.
But honestly, it's structuring your day. So for instance, if I'm being tangible about it, if I'm waking up at 7, right? From 7 to 9, I may be making breakfast and doing things with Sky, right? But then I'm taking a break. And then from 10 to 12, I'm working on another project and I'm taking a break. And then from 1 to 3, I'm doing something else. But it's actually like structuring and being intentional about your day. And although not every day flows like that, if you think about it and you be intentional about it, you might have a little more structure.
Nah, I mean, I think that's the key is structure, you know, and I guess the structure might be a great way to even talk about this whole pandemic that we have to deal with. You know, you just said a lot of fools. How have you been able to pivot in all fools in this time? And
I'm trying to think.
It's like, I don't even know how I'm here.
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I've always considered myself like team get it done. It's like a mantra that I always say. And being able to prioritize. I think that's super important, to be able to prioritize what's important to you and being able to understand your end goal. Like for me, business, making residual income was always a big goal for Keisha. And when the beginning of the pandemic happened, we didn't have any clients, right? Because PR is a luxury service. If you can cut out a bill, didn't you want to cut out a bill? Didn't we all cut out our student loan payments?
Well, some of us still working on that. It's pending.
So sorry.
Hey, also, if y'all see this, I don't live there no more.
I can't.
But nah, I agree. It's definitely not something that is like the looking at the list of electric, cable, all this PR is like, ugh.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a harsh reality, but we also understood it and was like, cool, let's figure out how we can still add value to our audience and yet even still make residual income. So that allowed us to pivot and release maybe things like products soon, or maybe soon, I don't know, maybe sooner than later.
It's a safe space. It's a safe space.
But, you know, just being able to do other things.
Sure.
Even with motherhood, like, Sky fortunately didn't have to go, but she was about to go to daycare. Literally, she was scheduled to go to daycare a week after the pandemic started.
Oh, you would have flipped out.
Understatement.
You would have, yeah.
Understatement.
And live from the DMV, we have a mother who's turned the daycare upside down.
No, for real.
Yeah.
So luckily, I avoided that. But being a full-time mom is a whole adjustment. Like being able to drop her off and work in peace, you know, and then having to have her drain your energy because she's not self-sufficient. So you're cooking 3 meals a day and all these other things.
It's just like, honestly, at one point, you can make a meal for me too. Like, just do something.
But honestly, it's just like trying to navigate all of that.
Sure.
And it's kind of hard, and it's a day-to-day thing. So.
And one thing that you touched upon that I think is really for a lot of people that I want us to embrace even more. Like you have a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Like, you know, talk about supplementing your dream while still working like a 9 to 5, or what are some of those skill sets that you get in that time period?
I really think it's important to be able to fund your dream, right? I do not look at my 9 to 5 as like holding me back. Honestly, I'm getting the experience and I'm getting trainings on their dime. Okay.
Talk about it. You can get certifications depending on where you at. That pay you. You know, that's
they
the whole
pay
thing.
for my Adobe suite.
What?
Okay.
Hey, let me get the login when we. Never mind.
All I'm saying is I ain't gonna drop their name or nothing, but I'm just saying that you can make your 9 to 5 work for you.
Sure.
And I'm also in a communications position.
Wow.
So I'm still doing things and I'm still learning softwares and I'm still enhancing my writing ability through work. So I mean, I don't look at my 9 to 5 as holding me back at all. It's funding my dream in many ways.
And I love that, and I love that sentiment of it. And I want us all to understand, like, you know, it is absolutely pivotal to fund your dreams. Like, you know, I did the whole I'm gonna take a leap of faith, and it was cool. And at this present moment, it looked like it might have worked out. But that first 2 to 3 months after, I was going through it, and you know, I wouldn't put that on anyone. And like we talked about LLC Twitter, like people or society often makes us feel like, you know, you got to be all in to win. Yeah. And that's not the case. You can win by just getting in the game somehow. Get some skin in the game.
For sure.
And so for you, looking at this space, looking at the landscape of what's happening in media, and we're digital now, like what are some areas of just opportunity that you see for PR in that space?
Honestly, things like this, right?
Hey.
We weren't even doing interviews on Instagram and YouTube like live and being able to do things virtually. You can talk to people who live on the other side of the world in real time and like people can see it. I'm like, this is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is the future.
Yeah.
You are the future.
Hey man, you heard it right. You heard it here first. Never mind, not the full future. But no, I love it because I think this is the space. Like, and if you think about it, it's funny because a lot of the larger networks, right, are the ones that are like don't have it figured out. Like, what's next for them, or you know, it kind of leveled the playing field for media. Yeah. And I love it for your space because now you're able to pitch clients like, look, hey, you might not want to go on Good Day America right now, but this guy Cook, he got something that's okay. Yeah. You know, so talk about discerning these opportunities and the relationship building. Oh, yeah. That's what I really want. Like, how do you know networking and building and really kind of cultivating these relationships?
Yeah, I mean, so for Publicist, I think cultivating relationships with the media is so important, right? So for one, you have to know that they're real people too. Like, do you just reach out to your friends when you need something?
I got a lot of good friends, but yeah, I feel what you're going with.
You know, okay, so everybody else, right?
Right, y'all normal people out there. My Rolodex kind of high, like y'all cool. I rock with y'all.
Nah.
You a friend? Look at you. You whole lit.
Yeah.
See? Yeah. I would.
No, I'm kidding.
It's like point, but nah, you can't just do that. A lot of people can't just do that.
Yeah,
right.
And I think it's important to really nurture the relationship. So check on people. Like, even with the pandemic, Keisha and I, we hit up a couple of our media friends because we've seen people losing their jobs. And we're just reaching out like, hey, are you good? You need anything? You working? You all right? Is there anything that we can do? Are you looking for a segment idea? Do you need something?
That's good.
And it's just making sure that people know you are a resource before you need them. And that's how you build relationships.
That's amazing. And I think, you know, I don't want that to get lost. Like, you know, that people first mentality is amazing, and it's a good theory for a lot of people, but the activation of it, the way you guys did it, like the checking on them and not saying, y'all good? Cool. Well, my client so-and-so like is about to drop an album this week. And, you know, it's more like, you know, hey, do y'all need suggestions before it's like, here's something I need from you. Yeah. And I think that's just the gym and networking in general. You never want to find yourself in a position where you're just telling people often like, hey, I need this opportunity for you. It's like, yo, can I at least offer you a meal somewhere? Yeah. You know, and I think that's just a great space. So you got all this experience. You got this Rolodex, this network. What's next for just Mariah, the media personality? Like, where do you see yourself coming? Like, where's your show? Because I'm trying to be a guest.
You know, you guys are so alike. Okay. No, when I'm thinking about it, so I have been in a space of like, I don't know exactly, right? I would love to do something like this. I just don't know the direction yet, but I do know for sure a Motherhood podcast is on the way.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. It's breaking news, reporting live from Washington, D.C.
Yeah, no, really exclusive.
Hey, I love it. I'm here for it. But you know what? I love it because of the idea, like, one, you move in this space well. You project, and you always had confidence even before motherhood. Like you were actively representing the parts of you that you wanted to. So to find you in this space, I think who better than you, you know? And I will say it in front of this audience who are tapped in or may not be, or we're all here. But you know, if there's any way I can be a resource to you in cultivating that, you know, that I'm the friend you can actually hit.
Oh,
you know,
thank you so much.
I just want to let you know that there's a friend that you can hit.
Yes.
You know, but
That's
you know,
small talk.
Hey, I mean, let's just get right to it. You know, let's get down to it. But all right, so 2020 reflectiveness. What was your biggest accomplishment personally this year for you?
Oh my God, this has honestly been a very hard year. And if I'm thinking about a personal accomplishment,
it's been a long march.
It's been a very long march. Personal accomplishment, I would say going to therapy and having breakthroughs.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. Can we got excited about therapy. No, like, I mean, talk about that decision and like recommendations for that, because I think that therapy is important, especially just for anyone who's been in anything in life. Like, you don't know what level of comfort someone's been through. So talk, not your sessions and deep darkest secrets, but that process for you.
Okay, so honestly, I started going to therapy because my sister and Mike kind of sat me down at different times when it wasn't intervention style, you know what I'm saying? But it was just kind of like, you know, you acted different. You're sadder. Your light's a little dim. What's going on? You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, I don't know. I have been feeling a little off. And I was like, oh my God, am I hitting postpartum depression off the late? Like, I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll just go talk to someone. And I found someone, a Black woman, because that was also important to me. I wanted to make sure that I was going to find someone who was going to connect with me. And I think it's also important to note that it's okay to try multiple therapists to find the right one for you. Luckily, I nailed it on the first try.
Talk your stuff.
But you know, that's just me.
Winning.
But I went in there thinking I might be having postpartum depression, but honestly, it was other things. It was my surroundings. It was the place in my life. Wow. It was the complacency, honestly. It was so many things. And through therapy, I learned a lot about myself because I have been pouring out so much. And I've been pouring in minimally. And it was really taking over, and I didn't even notice. But the fact that my support system saw it really pushed me to go to therapy. And I think it's also important to know yourself, right? When you start to feel like something is off and you just can't put your finger on it, you might want to talk to someone who can pull it out of you. Yeah. So.
No, I mean, I love that. Shout outs to your therapist, whoever she may be.
Her.
Shout outs to my future therapist. I'm looking for you still. So if you out there, you know, give me a ring. But no, I think that it's important because, you know, like I said, this, especially just even this year alone.
Yeah.
Has required us to face a different aspect of ourselves. You know, I was at one segment or one WeWork session that Alex Wolf was at, and she said, like, who are you at 3 a.m.? when everything's quiet, when everything's still, like, can you face yourself? Can you deal with the thoughts that come to you? And I was like, man, if I ain't sleep, it's a problem. But then I really thought about it and was like, you know, when it is quiet, when it is chill, like, am I okay? And I realized at the time I wasn't. And there are times now that I can say that I'm not always, you know, but I can definitely agree with the idea of being able to speak freely about it without feeling as if it's going to diminish someone else, because you can't put that out on you know, your support system. Like there's only so much support a system can offer.
That's a fact.
Before you like go and break the levees. Yeah. So you know you have to find those spaces. So congratulations on that. I think that's a major thing, and it's something I definitely want to encourage for anyone in the creative space. Being a creative is a 24/7 in your head job. Like you're always thinking of content. You're always thinking of the next developmental path or the next video and how you're going to edit it. And that is hard to come out of. So
and competition,
bruh. And the worst part is, you know, I mean, most creatives take this whole artistic world and freelance and don't have insurance for therapists. So you know, it's finding ways and avenues to make sure that as a community that we are getting these resources, because it's creative minds like yourself and what you do in your space and how you operate that are going to be the shifters and what the media feels and sees, and ultimately what reaches Skylar's generation.
Yeah,
so, you know, with all that, we just kind of balled into this. I have this consistent question that I ask on the show, and I think this is the best time to ask is just, what does legacy look like for you?
Legacy. Okay. Legacy to me looks like generational wealth, and not just in the financial sense, right? So financially, of course, I would absolutely love to be able to set my children up in a way that allows them to have options, right? They don't have to come out and struggle to figure out what they want to do. Like, you'll have options. I'm going to set you up so that you can do that. But also generational wealth mentally, right? I would love my daughter to be able to be so confident in her own skin, wearing her natural hair, and just being free as a woman, right? A black woman, and be confident in that, and being able to pass that down, right? And be able to break her own generational curses that she may, unfortunately, I'm so sorry, honey, get, right? So that, and then also you had Mike on here a couple episodes back, and he mentioned, you know, how past generations, things get lost. We don't know our great-great-great-grandparents and things like that. And it really got me thinking, like, that is so true. Yeah. And I absolutely want to be able to leave something so that my great-great-great-grandchildren know me, and then also have something to show for it. So that's what legacy.
Hey, that's the best answer it could be. And as far as Skylar being a free woman, if y'all ever seen her on her page, Skylar is her own person.
Oh, for
like
sure.
Her own person. She'll have an Instagram by age 5. That's where my money's at. But you know, we'll see how it goes. But I just want to just say again, thank you. Salute for everything that you've done. Congrats on this mompreneur life / 9 to 5 / I'm out here getting it. Like, just who you are and what you've built. And please, how can we support you? Like, what can we as a community do, and where can we follow you?
Well, you can follow me on all social media platforms at Mariah Oates. But honestly, like, if you do follow me and see what I post, just comment and tell me about your stories. Honestly, like, I love especially mothers, business women. If you're going through anything, communicate with me and connect with me, because honestly, talking with other people makes me happy. So anything I can do for you.
Hey, that's lit. And look, I can't wrap it up any better than that. I have to thank Mariah again for just being the GOAT that she is, coming on to this show. And I know you've all been trying to wait so much patiently. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to cut back over to my guy, Drew Keys. What you been cooking up for us, bro? All right, so I got the media go herself. So I want to go ahead, close us out. Take us home. Take us home.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Good morning, creatives. You're here with your girl Mariah, and we got Cook, and it's Cooking the Late Night.
That's it. Period, comma, exclamation, semicolons. What's up? Stay cooking, guys. Appreciate you.